Hello, and in this video I just want to talk very briefly about learning styles. This has come about because a student messaged me asking me if I could add all the explanations to the collocations, idiomatic expressions, complex vocabulary in the PDFs. Now I could, it would take a long time. However, the reason I haven't done this is to do with learning styles. There are different learning styles. So there are visual learners. These are people who can look at something and read it and remember it. There are auditory learners. These are people who listen to something and remember it. And there are kinesthetic learners. These are people who have to feel some kind of movement while you're learning. The kind of people who write things down in order to remember them. Now, we're all often a mixture of these styles. And what Benjamin Franklin once said is that we retain 10% of what we see, 30 to 40% of what we see and hear, and 90% of what we see, hear and do. So the reason I haven't put every explanation down in the PDFs is I want you to go through the PDFs and write explanations, write words down in your notebooks, pause the videos, and this is the way you will remember them. Just sitting watching the videos is not enough to help you remember these keywords and phrases. Now, as a result of this student contacting me, what I have done is I've produced a guide for part 1. Now in IELTS Speaking Part 1 you will get asked about hometown, job, studies, place where you're living at the moment, and it is essential that you prepare some complex language for these topics. I've had a student recently who regularly gets 8 in speaking, and he keeps redoing the test because he needs a higher grade in his writing. And one time he got 7 in his speaking, and he realised why it was, and he hadn't done the part 1s as well as in the previous tests. The IELTS examiner is deciding your grade from the moment you speak, so impress them, wow them as soon as you open your mouth. So what I've done in this guide is I've listed some of the keywords and phrases that you could use to talk about hometown, work and study, because it is essential that you go into that test and you know words and phrases to describe your hometown, your job or your study, and you're prepared for this. So if you go through the vocabulary, then you can make some notes. You can add other things from the videos, you can add other complex words and phrases that you know, but you need to go into that exam prepared. This is the only way that you're going to impress the examiner right from the first minute. Now hopefully I'll add more guides such as these, but remember it is imperative that you don't just sit there and watch these videos. You have to take ownership of your learning, you have to write things down, you have to make notes. 90% of knowledge is retained when we see, hear and do. Thanks for watching.